The Bloodline story is something that I actually watched the YouTube video I referenced earlier. And after watching it and seeing the whole story up till the point where we saw Jay explain why he kicked Sammy, I have to say that this is the best story that modern wrestling has ever seen and has ever been told. It's better than the Mega Powers exploding. It's better than the NWO Sting storyline, definitely because of the payoff. Really shot that horse in the face. Um, my favorite storyline had always been Undertaker versus Kane because it just went through so many different bumps and really was a story that lasted for decades. It's better than that. Bloodline has shown a very deep psychological story, and especially when it comes to the Jey Uso factor. Jey was the first person to really feel Roman's wrath. He was breaking Jey down, Roman was, psychologically and physically. By overpowering him physically, he knew he could eventually break him down mentally. Because while there might be the story of the family coming together, the real story within the bloodline is the psychological depths that Roman has gone to break his family down, to answer to his call and do his bidding whenever he sees fit. That's the true story throughout the bloodline. Watching the progression of Jey Uso coming into the family fold, finally falling in line after being abused by Roman time after time after time, to the point where now he doesn't question Roman, where Jimmy then came back and was questioning Roman, but then Roman manipulated him, and then he got the Usos fully on his side. Then you had the Sami Zayn factor where he used Sami for a while. He also introduced Solo Sikoa into the group. And then as we saw the breakdown start to unfold at the Rumble, where Zayn took the chair and hit Roman in the back, which they did a great job of referencing on Smackdown just last night, and stating that the only reason Jey is mad at Sami is because he's mad at himself for not being the one to do it first, which is a great way to plant the seed for what we know will eventually be Jey Uso turning on Roman. It's just more of a question of when, not if. And Cody fitting into this situation is perfect. And I understand where people really wanted Sami to be the one to do it. As I stated, though, Sami was always going to get to a route where it was going to be him and KO versus the Usos. Because ever since Sami got into the bloodline, as it was pointed out last night, Jey Uso was the one who didn't trust Sami from the get-go. Why? Because he's not blood at the end of the day. He doesn't care that he was willing to do whatever. He eventually broke down because the rest of the bloodline saw Sami and was broke down by Sami's charm. And Jey went against his first instinct. And he hates himself for doing so. But does he really hate himself because he went against his instinct? Or is there validity to what Sami said when he wishes he could have done to Roman what Sami did? And when Sami questioned him on that, Jay's face kind of turned away like he's calling me on some stuff. And it's all been great. But the why of why Cody fits best into this scenario is because Cody went from being the guy, as he's said numerous times, went from undesirable to undeniable. And when you look back, him and Roman's feud goes way further back than just the last few weeks. You can go all the way back to when the Shield was used as the Authority's henchmen for a while, and the whole Brother Rhodes story of Goldust and Cody against the Shield, where they had that amazing tag match for the championships at Battleground took place. They really feuded even back then. And then, of course, we saw how Cody's career in WWE went when he originally left. And he was, as he used to say, the star that left them in the dust. And he made himself known as a big player over the 6 years he was gone from the WWE, to the point where he is indeed what he says. He's undeniable as a character. He's undeniable as somebody that can lead the WWE brand moving forward. I've pegged him as the next John Cena. He's going to be the face of the company, and I still stand by that. And how you weave that into this story is Roman was always the WWE's choice. He was the guy that after the Shield, they wanted to hitch their wagon to and say, this is our next John Cena. This is our next Hulk Hogan, Steve Austin, and whoever else you want to throw in there. But it didn't go the way they wanted, because while he was a polarizing figure, much to like John Cena getting boos and cheers, that's not really what you want for your baby face. You want him to be beloved by the entire crowd. And Roman just wasn't getting that. And they tried forcing that on us for 6 years themselves of Roman's our guy. Roman's the guy. You must like Roman. Cody never even once had that opportunity. So for him going away and coming back to now be put into that opportunity, he has a gripe and he has a reason to show that he was the one that was undeniable in this instance. But beforehand, he was WWE's undesirable, where Roman's always been the one that they desired to be the guy. So now you have that along with the Dusty factor that they brought up in their promo, which, like I said, I hope they don't continue that the next time they go face to face, which could be as soon as this Monday. I really do think that when you look at the overall puzzle pieces, Sami and Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes, the entire bloodline, all the stories are culminating in this one angle that leads to WrestleMania. And it's nearly flawless. The way to make it flawless is by giving the ending that most people believe, and I too am part of that crowd, believes should happen. At the end of WrestleManias, both night 1 and 2, the Usos need to lose the titles to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and Roman Reigns needs to lose the title to Cody Rhodes.